What?
Hello and welcome to episode 181 of Masters of the Forge. Welcome to 2022, everybody. We made it. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! I hope everyone enjoyed our super sweet Battle Report episode last month. And that harkens a change to our format. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Jason and I have not been getting enough gaming in at all. Well, not at all, but like we really haven't been getting enough gaming in. And I feel like when we're talking about all this Crusade content, we kind of are... Okay, the way I said it in the post was that our discussions have been mainly academic. What it means is we've been talking out our buttholes, mainly, I think, in some cases.
Censor that?
I don't know if you should censor that or not. Anyways.
If you'd said anus, that would be okay. I mean, because I don't...
I mean, it's fine. So here's the thing. So we're going to be doing more Battle Report episodes. That way, at the very least, we're getting one Crusade game in a month. And that's always going to happen. So unlike last month, though, we will have an intro, like an actual, like real, like hobby progress, etc. intro.
Yeah.
Then we'll do the Battle Report.
I was thinking about this with the way that you and I sometimes hobby. If we don't talk about our hobby at least twice a month, one or both of us could paint an entire army between episodes, and we have done this on multiple occasions. So it definitely needs.
And people always, I don't do any metrics. I haven't really done any metrics for Masters of the Forge very often. But I'm a moderator on the IC's Facebook page, and one of the questions that you have to answer is what's your favorite segment? And 90% of the answers are hobby progress.
Yeah.
So I think that's true for I think most people like hearing what, the hobby progress. And like the cool thing is, as long as you give tips and stuff like that, and actually have a salient conversation about the hobby progress instead of just enumerating everything, I feel like it's good content. So, and you're also kind of critiquing the models at the same time too.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We do that. Yeah,
hey, this guy's leg was bent. Why is this guy's leg bent? Or, this is a beautiful sculpt. Or, why did they make this choice? Like that kind of thing. So, yeah. So, anyways, we digress. That's still going to be a part of those episodes, but we want to make sure to get games in. So we're going to do that, and for the second episode of the month. For the first episode of the month, we're still going to have a topical content thing, and we're still going to try to have lore and rules, from a narrative gaming perspective.
Yeah.
I also figure like with so many, there is actually, I think someone was telling me that there is like another narrative play podcast now, and Badcast does Crusade reviews.
Yeah. So
it's like there's more game out there right now than just us. So we should try to do something a little different. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get some games in with each other and maybe with other people. And we're going to, but we're still going to have our lore and narrative play topics as well.
Yeah. And I mean, every year we've gone through and we always do some slight modification. We did weekly for a year. We did monthly for a year. We added Beyond the Fringe last year. That sounds about right. So yeah, it's time to go through and do, let's hot rod this thing a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good for the show. I think in 2022, I think 181 plus is going to be the best years of the podcast. Well, okay. I'm biased. Anyways, let's start with some hobby progress. I'm first this week.
Woohoo.
I got more Tau, but I can't talk about it this episode. Yeah. I'm working on all the Beast Snag Cavalry at once. I meant to go back and look at what I was talking about last time.
Oh, man. Okay.
I think it was the 30 Beast Snagaboys, right? That's what I did last, I think, and Christmas presents. So I started working on these Beast Snag Cavalry. I really didn't. I should just paint a few at a time, but I just can't. I don't. It's so inefficient. I need to do it efficiently. So yeah, I loaded up the 12 Beast Snagga boys, or the Squighog boys that I have. I already had 3 Squighog boys painted. I have 15 total. Yeah. So I have 12 of those on, and I had built them. I swapped around a bunch of heads. I reposed the arms because they have big shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. So even though the arm sockets are fairly like one pose, you can adjust it a little bit because the shoulder pad hides a lot of evil. And also there's a grot on the back of each one with a weapon of some kind. Mm-hmm. So I changed those up too. So everybody's a little bit different. Okay. So I'm really excited about those. I also have 2 more knobs on Smash-A-Squigs.
Okay.
All 3 of those are unique looking as well. One of them's already painted. The other 2 I'm painting now. And then I also have the Beast Boss on Squigosaur, which Quinn already broke into 3 pieces. Good for him. Good job, dude. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Okay.
And
Nurgle does not approve.
No, apparently not.
Your orc obsession. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he is definitely an agent of Nurgle this month. Monster. Yeah. We spent last week. I spent Monday. I was like, babe, I got to take a couple days off of work and recharge. I need to paint for a couple days. So I decided to take a couple days off. So I think I started painting on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Sunday or Monday, and it was great. I got a bunch painted. Tuesday, by Monday night, I was like, I think I'm sick. I slept 20 out of 24 hours on Tuesday. And then I painted on Wednesday. I took the day off, and I did, I tried to get a little bit better, hung out with Quinn, and I painted. Mm-hmm. That was really good. I got them to, where am I at? I think I have most of the first layers done.
Okay.
What I think I need to do next, I did the yellow checks and everything too. So yeah, that's what I have to do. I have to put the yellow, the highlight layer on the yellow, the Uriel yellow. Right now it's just the Averland sunset checks over the orange armor. So I have to put, so I have to paint Uriel yellow over the Averland sunset. After that, I should be good to spray the whole thing with what is it? Semi-gloss.
Oh, the varnish.
Satin.
Yeah.
I spray it with satin, and then I'll just hit it with the Reichland Flesh Shade and Thumb effect.
Oh, okay.
I told you what I do. Yeah, I coat the model with Reichland Flesh Shade, and then I go over with my thumb, and I dry off my thumb as I go. By the time I get to the end, I usually have to lick my thumb once just to get that last bit off. So it's almost like how you do oil washes. You know how you dump the oil wash on there, and then you wipe it off with a cloth that's got the
mineral spirit.
Mineral spirits. Instead, it's just regular GW washes, and I just use my thumb. It actually works really well.
We are talking about oil washes in Is it in our Discord, or are we over in the Lost the Nails Discord? It's sometimes so difficult because sometimes the people that are in the Lost the Nails Discord, overlap. It's almost the exact same people. So
there's a lot of overlap in those Discords. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I was talking with Eric about it, but I don't know if it was in our Discord or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Did you see his statue?
That was what we were talking about. He had that turquoise oxide.
Yeah, it's like a 3D printed statue of the guardsman from the Space Marine video game series.
Is that what that is?
That's what she is. Yeah, it's pretty freaking sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's in our Discord channel. Yeah.
Well, it's in both. But anyways. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just needed
that one.
I just needed to rip the Band-Aid off and do these guys. And I am having fun. It just needs to get done because I want to start working on both the Tau and Cities of Sigmar. And I think what I'm going to do this year is do both Tau and Cities of Sigmar for my armies on parade. I'm going to do 2 armies on parade.
You're going to hate yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. It's going to be awful. So anyways, what I think I'll do is if I do a unit of one, I have to do a unit of the other.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to do it. You're
still going to hate yourself.
Yeah. If I do a unit of Cities of Sigmar, I then have to do a unit of Tau. The cool thing is I still have no idea what the paint scheme is going to be for either of these armies. So, guess I'll just die.
No, you can crank out a paint scheme. I'm not terribly worried about that.
Yeah,
the Tau. I'm sure there's some paint scheme that you've wanted to do that you can just slap onto the Tau. Hey, why not go through and do the same scheme for both Tau and the Cities of Sigmar?
No, I can't. That's not going to happen.
Okay, good.
But I really like the Tau Empire scheme. I might just do that. White and red. Yeah. I think it's great.
Or, depending on, hold on. What are they called? The human auxiliary for the Tau? Guevesa, yeah. Maybe your Cities of Sigmar army is your auxiliary. Yeah.
The thing, I wanted to try to challenge myself though, so I was actually thinking about doing camo. So we'll see for the Tau. We'll see. I'm gonna look for inspiration out there. We have that Vault membership. I might look through some of those old Visions issues and look at some of the Tau and the Visions issues and see if I can find some kind of inspiration there. I'm not sure. The search has worked pretty good for the campaign books. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not sure if I open up Visions, if it'll have a word search, but I bet it will. Anyways, aside
from
looked
that, in the Vault lately. Do you know if that Hexfire campaign book is in there, or probably isn't yet?
I am not sure.
Okay.
It's all right now. They just came up to Nagash, which is several years ago.
Oh, Lord. So. Okay, that was whenever I was still living in upstate New York. Okay.
Yeah, they're still doing stuff like that. So,
okay.
But I'm really happy to have it. So while doing these notes, I immediately realized that I didn't have Niam Shai Murad.
Which one is
the Rogue Trader? It's the female Rogue Trader from Blackstone Fortress expansion set.
Double pistol?
She's got mechadendrites and one pistol. No, she might have double pistols. Well, we'll find out in a moment because we're going to talk about it.
It's being reloaded by one of the
mechadendrites.
Servitors. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like 3 attacks or something. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I've got that. I have that model. I have that model painted.
Nice.
Surprisingly. Yeah. It's an easy model to paint. If you
made that for like $16, worth it.
Yeah, worth it.
So I'll be getting that. It's just going to go in my Rogue Trader box. I did on New Year's. I did some reorganizing. I bought some more clear plastic containers, and dude, I was unpainted model like free at the start of last year. And at the start of this year, I have a giant pile of unpainted, opportunity in my hobby area.
So on that Rogue Trader, though, hold on. I played that model in Blackstone Fortress, the second campaign, and it is just a gunslinger. Nothing ever got nothing got close enough to get into melee because I just shot it off the board. It was such a fun character. That's why I actually painted that one because I had so much fun with it.
She deserved it.
Yeah,
clearly.
Oh yeah. And the Wolf Time. Which one is the Wolf Time?
The third Indominus book.
Okay.
So the first quarter of the book is confusing because Gav Thorpe split the chat. Actually, all of them have been like this, really, where the chapters don't really focus on one point of view. The vignettes are short in every chapter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when you listen to the audiobook, there's not I don't even have my pauses erased. Like I don't erase pauses on my reader, but still there's not enough of a pause between sections because it's like the narrative goes from one vignette to another immediately. So I'm like, it's a little disorienting.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're not sure that the frame of reference is actually changing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But Gav Thorpe really nails Space Wolf personality in this book.
Any Dusty Boys show up in that one?
I don't think so.
Okay. Not
yet anyway. Well,
not yet. Let me know.
You know what? Don't worry about it. It's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. The only reason I haven't finished listening to it is because I've been home instead of I haven't been working at work because we've been sick and I had to, I didn't get a COVID test until Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. So, but yeah, it's really great. I really recommend starting on those, or I think you can kind of read them separately, but I have a feeling it's building up to a result. You know what I'm saying? So, but you could probably read Wolf Time without reading anything else.
Okay. Yeah, I've been changing my Black Library reading habits a little bit because for a while they were a little too grim dark, and I was just like, nah, I gotta break up stuff. So
yeah, something a little more lighthearted. Yeah. This is definitely there are legitimate belly laugh moments in this book.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're good. It's not. It's legitimately a good read with a good comedy, and it's really great. I love it.
Okay. Cool. That's
that's it for me. I really that's about it. I finally got some good hobby in. I'm really excited about that, and been working on the show notes for this episode.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, that should always count as part of our hobby progress. All right. So, my hobby progress. I think I talked about this in our last episode. I was just going to. I'm not doing anything that isn't my Adepticon list because I want to get it done.
That's fair.
And because I never remember what I've painted, I thought I was a lot worse off than I was. But hold on, I should actually follow the order of my notes, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to be predictable.
Yeah, but the thing is, my notes are never organized, to be honest. Let's see. So I finished reading Master of Prospero, which is the Magnus Primarch book. I was talking about it with Tucker in one of our last hobby progresses, maybe that hobby hangouts, maybe that was last week. And so I just decided to read it. It's a short novella. Overall, I dug it. A lot more depth to Ahriman, more depth to Magnus. It's basically fleshing out a lot of stuff that's already been or it's been published in other books as well, like Fury of Magnus and some other stuff. And there was one little thing about Magnus and Sons of Selenar, but not that much. Anyway, it's basically more of a lore building book. There is a hint that the setting of this book is where Armin like returns to find essential elements to cast the rubric. Because there's something that happens here that turns like everything to dust. You know, whenever it there are so many uses of the phrase either all is dust or there's dust or they've been turned. Like there's so many dust comments that there's a kind of, you know, there's a point there I was like, look, stop. This is funny, but it's going too far. So anyways, but really good book. I did enjoy it. It's good to, you know, I think I've read all of the Magnus and 30K Thousand Suns stuff out there. So, okay. So I did talk about the Adepticon list. I'm going to just work on that only. After kind of digging through my stuff to see what was there, I discovered all of my Adepticon list, and most of my Thousand Suns are now based. And all of the models except for the Chaos Spawn are tabletop ready at the very least. I'm still painting on the Spawn. I decided to go more of a chaotic type of coloring, like looks more like Tiamat than anything else. So let's see. The Siren Dread.
A kaleidoscope of delightful colors.
Pretty much. You remember how I had like that? I had the yellow, that bright yellow, translucent yellow color for the whole thing. Well, then I started painting like anything looked like it might be bone as white. You know, I was like, all right, I'll go through and paint that bone white. Then I was like, well, then that looks a little bit odd and off balance. So then I started painting all the different tentacles. Sorry. All the different tentacles and protrusions from the body, different colors. And so that gives it more like this kind of rainbow prismatic, you know, effect that at first I thought was kind of wrong until I started like looking at it. I was like, this actually kind of works. So, so that's the Spawn. All right. So the Siren Dread. So this is all details I'm working on, you know, and the Siren Dread, well, it's Thousand Suns. They have lots of details. So I highlighted the ruins on the shoulder pads. So basically, you know, on the Forge World model, it's painted black and they've gone in and green highlighted all the ruins. And me being, I don't know if it's arrogance or stupidity, it was like, I can do that. And so I took very watered down light gray, almost white, and I just kind of dipped them in there to let it flow. So there would actually be a little bit of paint there that would only go into the crevices. And then after that dried, then I traced over them with the technical paint. Oh, here it is. The Hexwraith Flame, that green that they put on a lot of the Necrons to get that coming up. And it looks really cool. It's like, I'm actually really proud of what it looks like.
Yeah, I think those dreads are looking pretty freaking sweet, dude.
And then remember how I wasn't going to paint that headdress or the crest because I thought it was a bad idea, that like I would hate myself. As you might have guessed, I went ahead and did it. And I painted green and white stripes. I also painted the grill on the conversion beamer, painted that one white so it'd like pop even more. And there's a lot of other miscellaneous details. I mean, that entire model is just, you know, you paint something and then you look over and go, oh, I didn't notice that before. Now I have to paint it. Great. So that guy's taken care of. I have an aspiring sorcerer that I need to paint his cape and his staff. There's some other miscellaneous details, but he'll be finished. If I paint tonight, then he might be finished tonight. Termies. So I went, I think I mentioned I had the Forge World Terminators, because they're cool. I mean, seriously. And they also paint up really well. And so I've been working on the last of those details. I think that they're done, or at least I feel that they are done.
Then they're done.
Yeah. And then basing, you know me, I always do the how ornate can I make my bases and then hate myself afterwards. So I started adding scorched tufts from one of the army painter packages to give them more of a 3D, more of a wasteland look. So
do you ever cut those into like little chunks, or do they always go on as is?
I've just started doing them. They have like 3 or 4 sizes, so I put like small ones and large ones, but I could chop them down.
Because like trim them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't done that yet. That's only because I've just started using them and I opened up the package. I'll probably do that though as I go through all the like 30 something rubrics I've painted, because obviously I have bad decision making at times. All right. The last thing I need to do though for all of this stuff are the water slide transfers, or for our Canadian listeners, the decals. I need to do a lot of transfers. I think I'm working on the miscellaneous details just because I'm avoiding the transfers. I just don't want to do them. So there was one thing though.
Don't die.
So, yeah, don't die. That's always a good thing. So I'd painted up a series of black and red rubrics, black, silver, and red, or some white in there as well. And I was thinking about it. If I ever did a Masters of the Forge army, I would paint it in that scheme, this metallic black, because it's a metallic black and a metallic red, and it looks like this guy needs to have our logo on it. So
nice. You know, some of the guys and the Queensberry guys were thinking we could do. We should probably try to do for Extra Life or one of those charities. We should do a weekend long stream where we paint a Masters of the Forge army.
I think we should do
like a Space Marine army, black, white, and red with our logo.
Yeah.
We know a few people who could create a 3D model of like a chapter, the cog chapter logo on a shoulder pad, and because we have vector graphics of that, so that would make it a little bit easier. I remember Tim saying that really it's just a matter of like you kind of lay the logo over and then just increase the height a little bit. Whatever he said, like maybe it drops a shadow or something over it. I forget how it actually works in the 3D model technology, but he said it's actually not that hard as long as you have a good vector graphic of your logo. It goes on the shoulder pad pretty well, and there's lots of just blank shoulder pad out there that you can use as a basis. And I could print up a crap ton of Masters of the Forge shoulder pads, and we can stick them on all these models.
Yeah.
The only thing is we wouldn't be able to use any of the truly monopose Space Marines so that we could get the shoulder pads on there. That's all.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about creating a Crusade force using just Blade Guard vets as like the basis of that force. And painting up his Masters of the Forge, you know, that the scheme I have here, just because I think it'd be a really cool. It would look really cool, and 2, it would be fun to do, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it sounds fun. So maybe we'll talk about it more later.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll involve the listeners in that stream or something if we decide to go ahead and hit the ground running on that.
Yep. All right, so shall we move over to games played? This one's going to be a quick one.
Yeah, I've been sick, so no. The last game I played was against you. I had a game planned with Curtis, a Crusade game with Curtis planned, but I was sick. I wasn't going to get him sick. And I did play a game of Battletech with Mike, my buddy Mike, yesterday. And we're probably we're going to get together and play Battletech again real soon with a bunch of the guys. It's been a long time since I thought I had everything memorized still. I don't have everything memorized still. No, I have to relearn a lot of stuff.
It's amazing how quickly you forget that stuff.
I just need to see if I can get a Grand Dragon or Dragon. Dragon? Doesn't matter. I'm going to see if I can get some Karita mix eBayed here before the end of the week so I can paint them and use them. Wendy's in the other room. Anyways. Anywho. What did you get?
She doesn't listen to us.
She doesn't even listen.
I'm feeling better.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Huh?
I'm glad.
I'm feeling better. Our last episode, it was bad enough that our listeners were on other Discord channels were wishing me well. So thank you to whoever it was that was wishing me well. I do feel better. Everyone else is sick. So like Keith and I are trying to get some games in, and he's sick, and he and his wife are sick. So just like, fine, I'm going to sit here and paint, and I'll be fine.
This new variant is okay. We're all just sick, right?
Yeah.
But so many people have COVID too. It's like it's spreading like crazy. This variant is so contagious, and not only that, it's happening during a time when everybody's sick, anyways. Yeah. So all of us that are triple vaccinated, even if we still if we can still catch it, but normally if we were asymptomatic, we wouldn't really spread it. Yeah. But we also all have colds
or allergies or the flu.
And allergies from being locked in a house. Yeah. And that's going to spread it. Even if we're like asymptomatic of COVID, we are symptomatic of other stuff. And it's just a nightmare. Well, it's just a nightmare.
When our buddy Eric from Variance Hammer and Lost from the Nails, the epidemiologist says it's really spreading fast, like surprisingly fast. That means, we all need to like perk up and go, oh no. So,
yeah.
Oh, all right. Boy. So what about now? What's happening now?
What's happening now? Well, what's happening now, is we are going to jump in a car and we're gonna take a bunch of peyote and we're gonna drive into the desert beyond the fringe.
Nice. I think I've got some ideas on that one. Yeah. I do appreciate the Hunter S. Thompson
reference. Thank you.
Yeah, love that.
Thank you. I
love that book. I
should have said mescaline, I think, is what they actually take, but it's fine. It wasn't lost on you. I appreciate that. So
can I refer to you as my esteemed counsel? Or you can refer to me as your esteemed counsel. I don't mind.
Encanto was a freaking triumph. What a great movie.
All right.
It was delightful. The music is amazing. Yeah, you should see it.
Okay.
And also took Sonny on his first big winter hike. It's not big. It was like 4.5 miles. But it was, I started the day 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, 6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Man, I've lost that New York
27
blood.
quatlus in Celsius. So it was cold. Minus something. Hey Google. Oh, my phone's not here. Dang it. Hold on.
Anyways, it was cold.
No. Dead air. No, I insist on the dead air, sir.
You want the dead air.
What is 6 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? It is negative 14 Celsius. So it started that and it ended up like 18 by the time we were done. But that 18 felt like a furnace in comparison to the 6.
You'd had 4 miles of walking.
Sonny could have done more. He could have done like 8. I had a little sweater on him, and I was worried about his feet. And he has his own little pack, which is cute. He has a little orange pack that he carried his own poop shovel and his own water in and his own food. He carried all his own stuff. and he could have done more. I was just worried about his feet.
Yeah.
So we kept it short. Looking forward to doing more, though.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a good way to keep at least a little fit during the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So my Beyond the Fringe. I bought a new guitar because I told myself if I managed to get through 2021 without injuring anybody, not myself, of course, but other people, that I was going to, do that. And so I have the new guitar. It's a 1995 Gibson Les Paul Studio. The nice thing about these guitars is everyone hot rods them. Like, you buy it and you automatically start tearing it apart and like modifying it.
Oh.
And so whoever had it before me had already done the modifications I was going to do for the electronics. So I'm going to do a couple of more modifications, just of stuff that I would like to change on it, like the tuning heads. Those are changing as soon as I can get them in, as soon as I can order them, because I do not like these tuners. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's a new fun instrument. I've been talking about it with our buddy Brian, Mr. Evil Space Elves. And he and I have been talking about music gear a lot this past, I guess, through all of 2021, about, buying new instruments and gear and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's a fun instrument. I'm glad I got it. I've been playing it a lot more than I thought I would. So yeah,
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, you got it. You got to treat yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to treat yourself and enjoy your other hobbies.
Well, that's a hobby / job. So sometimes I just get like burn out on job and whatnot.
That's true. Yeah. But one of the things that made me so good at my actual job is that I made it my hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, I've got this. It's fun. I can eventually use as a tax write-off. And also, what is it? I will actually be using it in my classroom because I'm teaching recording techniques again, and I need to start adding in techniques for like recording, rock music, for recording non-classical stuff. So the kids are going to have to deal with me and a Les Paul and, an orange amplifier with all sorts of fun distortion. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
They had it coming to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened when they, sign up with me. You sign up with me and you got to deal with me. So, yay. All right.
Hashtag that's what you get.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. All right. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming out from GW.
Yeah.
One thing that we put in there was these combat patrol boxes. Holy moly.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
They are chock full of goodies. Like really chock full of goodies. I'm impressed with them. And I know
they're all combat patrol, like real combat patrol. Like they all have one HQ and maybe an elite and maybe a troop. Or a troop, an HQ, and then maybe an elite or something like that.
Yeah, they want you to actually be able to play a game with what you get, but also, like, they're not like spammy and they don't really have everything you need. So, like the Tau one doesn't have any battle suits, right? Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, so like you're still going to be buying a bunch of stuff, but it's still a great way to start an army. Yeah. And I think they're really cool.
The Thousand Suns one has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we laughed about this before we started recording. So it's got the Infernal Master, which that's the only way you can get that model, which is a cool model. I like it. I have mine. I built it. I painted it. It's going to Adepticon with me. I went through and built I kit bashed another one. But you can finally get that model there. It has a unit of Terminators, which Terminators are so hot right now. They are. And then it has and this is the troops choice. It has 20 Zangors, which I think we've talked about my love / not love. I don't want to say hate, that's too much, but love and antipathy, there we go, of the Zangors. Not that I like the sculpts. The sculpts are really cool. It's just there's so many details on there. I look at them as a hobbyist and go, no. But I look at them and go, these are kind of cool. I mean, they have cool blades, they've got cool swords. They've got if you're playing the Sigmar versions, they've got these really awesome shields and whatnot.
Right.
So,
I love them.
20,
I love
20,
the Zangors.
I've already got 30 painted. Or no, wait, no, I have more than that painted now. Do I have 40 painted? Do I need 20 more Zangor?
You need as many Zangor as I have orcs.
No, because I need to move. If I'm going to get however many tens of thousands of points in Zangors, I need a house. I need out of this apartment.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
that
what's
should come
saving
first.
me.
Yeah, that should come first.
So you're gonna start with like some sort of
250 Zangor.
Yeah, then once I move into a new place, then you're going to have like some sort of, hey, let's all get Jason's Zangors.
Let's get Jason some Zangors.
Are there some second edition ones out there? No,
second edition there might. I think there are. Actually, I think there are.
Wait, what?
I think all the gore. Oh. I think there's gores for every god out there. Old ones.
Oh man,
we'll have to have a look. We'll have to harness the user's help for that one.
No. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Custodes and Gene Stealer Codexes came out. Mm-hmm. We have those. They were sent to us. Thank you, Games Workshop. We'll be doing a Custodes episode in February with a special guest and Gene Stealer Cult. Who knows when? But that's fine. Next, there were new COVID regulations for Adepticon released. I didn't realize that. So it was vaccinated or negative test. Now it's vaccinated, masked, no excuses.
Okay. That's fine by me.
So I'm pretty glad for that. So I'm looking forward to Adepticon coming up soon. Coming up soon. We're sharing a room. It's going to be delightful.
Yes. Oh, we need to go through and register for that this week.
Tomorrow. The 11th. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Is today the 10th?
Today is the 10th. We have to register tomorrow.
Okay, that's cool. I'll look it up tonight.
Yeah, don't worry about editing the show. Just get registered. Figure out what classes you're going to take, and then next episode during the intro, we'll talk about what we registered. We got registered for.
Rad.
And we'll talk about meeting up with people and stuff.
Yeah,
have a good time. All right, great. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Rogue Traders on Crusade.
Damn, I knew it was around here somewhere. Damn, where is it?
Can I help you?
Ah! Scared me.
What do you seek?
I need the perfect scenario for a narrative game I'm running this week, and I can't find one.
Sir, this is the Black Library. We don't have narrative scenarios.
Well, then where should I go?
Might I recommend the Tabletop Campaign Repo?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo? What's that?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo is an ad-free site for hosting resources related to playing tabletop miniatures wargaming.
Oh, like scenarios?
Absolutely. Also, event packs, custom objectives, tracking sheets, custom terrain rules, maps, icon packs, award templates, and more.
Oh, and this is for Warhammer 40k?
Among other things. There's also Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and others. They're always open for content submissions for any system, even non-Games Workshop materials.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a great way to save all of this great content the community makes. A lot of that stuff often ends up disappearing into a dead message board or Facebook group.
Exactly. It's a real community effort.
Great. So how do I get there?
Just go to that webway gate marked tcrepo.com.
tcrepo.com. Got it. Can I ask you one more question before I go?
Fire away.
This place is really easy to find. How come Armand can never find it?
Oh, because it's more funny that way.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Once again, the Tabletop campaign repository can be found at tcrepo.com, and they're always looking for submissions.
Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 Hour a Night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det ikke bikkje, det en slags ting. Den imiterer bikkje, men det ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said.
Welcome back. So it turns out that's Warhammer Visions 22 that has the Tau in it.
Oh, okay.
The more I look at this Tau Empire scheme, the more I love it. Just white with gray and red highlights.
I don't think I've ever before.
I've never really done like an actual army scheme for an army, like an established lore.
Oh, okay.
Scheme. So it might be interesting to have a go at it and try it. And there's also other Tau schemes in there. So it might be interesting to look through here and see whether or not I want to go ahead and try it out. Again, I did purchase an extra unit of beat up stealth suits from the internet, so I'll just test with those, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Anyways, super digress there. We're talking about Rogue Trader Crusade rules.
Yeah.
So Rogue Traders I've always felt that they're really appealing as protagonists in 40K because they have a lot of leverage and leeway, which is provided to them by their Warrant of Trade. It's a document that allows them to trade and seek prospects beyond the known structure of the Imperium. There are a lot of gray areas here, but that can mean dealing with Xenos, not Chaos. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
But they do have dealings with Xenos and uncontacted human settlements. It can also mean salvaging lost technology, laying claim to raw material sources. So like they might find like an asteroid that's got lots of a rare mineral in it, and they can get kickbacks for having discovered and exploited that. And they might even actually set up all the mining operations themselves and actually administrate it themselves. Like they have a huge lot of leeway on as long as they can defend it and as long as they can fund the operation, there's nothing stopping them from actually just doing it themselves, as long as they tithe what they're supposed to tithe, right?
Yeah.
So the Warrant of Trade essentially makes every rogue trader the equivalent of a chapter master or a planetary governor in their own like paradigm. Some Warrants of Trade go back generations, and some are fairly new. These Warrants of Trade are hereditary, and some were even penned by the Emperor himself. We talked about that in one of the most recent episodes. So some Rogue Traders are immensely powerful crusaders, like Ava Falamore from the Warzone Octarius book that we talked about.
Page 30 of... Sorry.
Yeah.
It's page 30 of the Critical Mass book. I'll tell you in a minute why I know it's page 30, but go ahead.
They have, they can have many vessels and legions of troops under their command. But some choose to remain in one place. So they're still powerful, but they choose to have like a powerful central government that they operate in a vast empire of worlds linked in a complex trade organization where all the commerce is funneled through the rogue trader themselves. At the same time, other rogue traders are a little more than prospectors, searching the void and living one payday to the next. So you can have a huge variety of stories for your rogue trader, and you can start from small beginnings and work your way up to something that you aspire to, which I think is a cool way of looking at rogue traders.
Yeah. So there's this TikTok thing that's like, on both Facebook and TikTok thing, says to describe your love life in 2022, pick up your nearest book and go to page 30. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, this is kind of funny. What would it be? And it was the forces of Rogue Trader Ava Falamar. It's like the first sentence is, Ava Falamar's personal entourage consisted of tech priests, bounty hunters, bioload. I mean, just this long list. And I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. This is so nerdy.
You're either doing great or you're totally screwed. I'm not sure how that.
Yeah, I have no idea. Out. I have no idea. It's amazing. And the second sentence is where they include, Chokeros, Eldari, and Kroot. So it's like, well, okay.
That's more like it.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, let's see. So most rogue traders command at least one vessel, which could be a simple freighter at first, often subjected to many repairs, reinforcements, and upgrades over the decades, centuries, and millennia. So basically hot rodding it, going through and making it their own. And this kind of off-the-grid work done by rogue traders means that any manner of Archaeotech or Xenotech could find its way onto a rogue trader's vessels. As I was reading this earlier, I was reminded for just a brief moment of the movie Ice Pirates. And it was...
Wow, okay.
Were they rogue traders? And now I've got that in my head. And if you've seen Ice Pirates, I apologize for bringing that back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a repressed memory.
Well, I think that the main character's name was Jason, and so my family always made sure to take me to films that had, that character name, because where I'm from, there wasn't a whole lot of people named Jason, and that means Ice Pirates and, the lovely Friday the 13th movies. Yay. So anyway, all right, let's get back to
fine. You turned out fine.
I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. Okay, I'm only here, painting little army dudes. So, rogue traders earn their wealth brokering deals, founding new prospects, and bringing lost worlds into the Imperial fold. The Imperium generally doesn't care what a rogue trader does with the prospects they find, or build as long as Administratum gets its tithes. So yeah, the money talks. Yeah. Whether the rogue trader skims some in addition to the Imperium is largely unimportant. At times I've kind of thought of like the rogue traders being almost like, almost like Enterprise was in the Enterprise universe.
Yeah.
More like the Harry Mudd version, not the, well, maybe even the Kirk version, but not like the Picard version,
Oh, certainly not. No.
Yeah. There are a lot more details to know about rogue traders, which has been discussed at incredible length in the Rogue Trader role-playing game source books.
Yeah, there is so much in there.
I haven't read those books, but I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, and there are people online, like in some of these like YouTube channels and stuff, who would make us look just silly, dumb, like not
like we know nothing,
knowledgeable about anything, because they've played that Rogue Trader game in groups for years.
I need to go look at those rules, because I'd seen them, but I hadn't really read through them.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore in there. There's a lot.
Interesting. Because that's like, was there ever like Inquisitor had the kind of a tabletop version? Well, I mean, it had a tabletop version, but did Rogue Trader ever have? Well, besides. Pardon me.
No, Rogue Trader didn't have a tabletop. Yeah. Well, unless you count
except that one thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. There are a lot more details about Rogue Traders, which has been discussed at Credible Link, blah, blah, blah. Those books go into intricate minutia, which we kind of mentioned, as well as the rights and privileges of the Warrant of Trade and how that applies to Imperial law. Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really... I've always found Inquisitors to be very interesting. I just didn't know a whole lot about Rogue Traders. I mean, I knew what they kind of did, but they didn't... It never really, what's what I'm looking for? It never piqued my interest until this book.
Right.
And, going through and reading about that one Rogue Trader who has basically a, sector-wide influence is actually quite fascinating. I think that's been cool to go through and read. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right. So shall we talk about, abilities and all the good stuff that's in here for the rules?
Yeah. So again, I don't think we could spend we could spend days talking about how, like, all the different Rogue Traders and stuff like that. I recommend picking up the PDF of the Rogue Trader role-playing game. And
we could probably create a podcast around just Rogue Traders.
Yeah, people playing the Rogue Trader game. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the Warzone Octarius Book 2 supplement has a bunch of rules for Rogue Traders in it, and it expands on them with some Crusade rules and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the army-wide abilities.
Yeah, these are important because they really do allow you to expand some really cool stuff without breaking your... They allow you to stay narrative without breaking your codex by adding in these guys, which is similar to the Inquisition stuff we'll talk about in a little bit later.
So, first off, you have a Warrant of Trade. It allows them, the Rogue Traders and the Voidsmen at Arms, to embark on Imperium transports. Then the other ability is Agent of the Imperium. Battle-forged armies can contain one Agent of the Imperium per patrol, battalion, or brigade, without taking up slots in that detachment. So you basically get them for free. Also, if you include an Agent of the Imperium, you don't lose any detachment abilities or army-wide abilities that require every unit in your army to share a specific faction. So these are like the tides for the Grey Knights and stuff like that. Like, you don't lose any of that, which is nice. You can just willy-nilly include a Rogue Trader and their retinue in your army. You could also simulate a Rogue Trader's own kind of forces, like Falamor's Voidsmen. You can actually just, include some Astra Militarum with all of the abhumans and stuff as guardsmen if you want, and that works perfectly fine. Yeah. So we have a few data sheets in here. The first one is the Cartographica Rogue Trader. What I was going to say is, why don't I go through all of the Rogue Trader and then you handle the Inquisition?
Okay, go for it. I will ask questions and stuff.
So the Rogue Trader is just a normal human with 4 wounds and a 4+ save, just like kind of flak armor.
Yeah.
And they have 2 abilities that are unique to them. They have Captain on the Deck, which is all Voidsmen at Arms within 6 inches use the Rogue Trader's Leadership 9, which is nice. So these are actual Voidsmen at Arms, the unit. And they have Master and Commander. So you can only have 1 Rogue Trader per detachment, and they cannot be used as a compulsory HQ choice unless that detachment is purely an Astra Cartographica detachment. So I was thinking if I were to create a Rogue Trader army, I kind of have the idea that I would want them to be like an older mother and two bickering children, which works well with the miniatures that are available. I don't know if you remember, like years ago we talked about this.
I do remember talking about this.
All the miniatures we have available right now are one older female that's had a bunch of rejuvenant treatments, and she's got that veil on.
Mask, yeah.
And then we have a male and a female that are a bit younger. So that would actually be amazing. So you could actually have two, or you could have three detachments, one with grandma, and one with mom, and one each for the kids. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, there's one of the models from Cursed City. I'm trying to remember the one I was caught that I played that had the sword and pistol combination. He could actually be used as a rogue trader. Easily, because I mean, all of these you're going to talk about this more, but the way these guys are equipped is mostly sword and pistol, or something like that. So
they're swashbucklers. They're pirates. Which they're privateers. They're exactly. That's exactly what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be aloof, like seemingly aloof, rich, privileged, or at least putting on the air of privilege. No matter how downtrodden their house actually is, You have to have the air of importance, because that's part of what keeps you alive. If people think that someone, you can just be a normal human in space on some backwater space station. Nothing's stopping people from robbing you except retaliation. So you have to put on that air just from a survival tactic. So there's 3 different loadouts in the book for Rogue Traders, and they're all based on, obviously, the models that are available, which is annoying, but it is what it is. It's the way we do things now in Warhammer. So there are 3 of them. The Elucia Vane loadout, which is the model from the Elucidian Star Striders, the first one that came out. The other one is Janus Drake, which is that loadout, which is the original Blackstone Fortress model. And then Niam Shai Murad loadout, which is the Blackstone Fortress expansion. She's the one with all the augmetics. Yeah,
that one's such a cool model. I loved playing that in Blackstone Fortress. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I painted it, so that's how much I liked it.
There's enough variety here that you could come up with your own ideas of what they look like if you wanted to kit bash one of your own. Elucia Vane, she's got a digital laser, so it's a 12-inch pistol that does a mortal wound if it hits. She has a household pistol, which is strength 5 AP -3 damage 2, and so she can shoot both of those if she wants. She's got a monomolecular cane rapier. She's got that sweet cane that she's leaning on, which is strength +1. It's only strength 4, but AP -2, damage 1, and +3 attacks. So she gets 7 attacks with that thing. She's like,
I saw that. I was a little, I think I like that. Yeah, I'm good.
Then she's got a concealed Archaeotech weapon. Once per game, you reveal it and do either 1 mortal wound, D3 mortal wounds, or D6 mortal wounds to something in engagement range, depending on a dice roll. I think it's on a 1, you do none, and et cetera, et cetera. But that's pretty cool. And then she's got concussion grenades, which is a stratagem equipment. She's got a disruption field generator, which gives her a 4+ invulnerable save. And she's got a multispectral auspicator. The multispectral auspicator gives her reroll 1s to hit, because she can see you.
That's pretty cool.
So she's kind of a quick, lots of attacks in combat that don't do a whole lot of damage with some tricks up her sleeve. Naam Shai Murad, the Blackstone Fortress expansion, she has 2 negotiator pistols. So like you said, she's a Ikimbo with the same pistol. Each of those is pistol 3. So she gets 6 attacks, 6 pistol attacks as strength 5, AP -2, damage 1. So she's more of a shooty. She does have a bladed limb.
Yeah, that's
strength +3. She's strong. AP -2, damage 1. She also has a court blade in addition to the mechadendrites, which allows her to D3 additional attacks on top of her bladed limb attacks, which are a strength user, AP -1, damage 1. Just a few extra attacks because why not?
Yeah.
So she doesn't have as many attacks as Alucia Vane, but she's stronger. She also has Archaeotech Grenades, which are a different stratagem-based equipment, but she's more of the Mechanicus side. She's more mechanical in nature than the other 2.
Yeah.
She's got a refractor field, which is only a 5+ invulnerable save, so that's kind of where she's a little more offensive than Vane, but she's a little less defensive. She's got servo skull targeters instead of the multispectral auspicator. Select a visible enemy unit at the start of the shooting phase. Any Astrocartographica units within 6 inches of the Rogue Trader can shoot that unit, and it doesn't benefit from cover. So she has a really cool buff that she gives out to nearby Voidsmen.
There's a what was it? There is a model from Victoria Miniatures that is not this, like, you need to add your own servo skulls, but it's a double pistoled character. And
cool.
I know this because I ordered it, and I think it was delivered today, so I have to go pick up my mail. Ooh-ha.
The fact that she's so strong with the bladed limbs, you could get away with like her having maybe a servo axe or something, like a big, like an actual big weapon.
Yeah.
And for the pistols, if you wanted them to be, instead of them being mechadendrites or holding pistols, you could actually have like little servo skulls floating with guns.
Oh yeah, that could work too. Yeah.
That would be a fun way of representing that, especially since she's already got servo skulls targeters.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun way to, and her Voidsmen at Arms, it would be neat if you went and got some Adeptus Mechanicus troops to represent those instead.
Yeah.
You could doctor them up a little bit. Obviously, like, mix it up with some guardsmen and whatever, just to make sure they're not actually mistaken for Adeptus Mechanicus units.
Yeah.
And again, the last one is the Janus Drake loadout, which is the original Blackstone Fortress model. He's got an heirloom pistol. He's kind of a mixture of the two. Pistol 2, strength 4, AP -1, damage 1. He's got a court blade, just like the Naeem one, but his is backed up by also having a monomolecular rapier. So where Murad is dual pistols, he's dual swords. The rapier is strength +1, AP -4, which is a pretty decent AP in combat, and damage 2. So it's just a little different from Murad and Vane. He's going to do more damage per hit, but he's going to wound less than either of them. So I thought that was really interesting. He's got the Archaeotech Grenades, just like Murad. So the Concussion Grenades are unique to Vane, and He's got a concealed Archaeotech weapon like Vane. Because he's more of a sneaky one. He's not in your face like Murad is. And he's got a 4+ invulnerable save. And the multispectral auspicator, like Lucia Vane. So these abilities kind of overlap over different ones. So it's almost like you have the ability to customize it, but it's just 3 different loadouts instead of true free customization.
Yeah, we'll talk about customization a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. So the Voidsman at Arms unit is an elite. It's not a troops choice. It's an elite's choice. You get so if you took a patrol detachment, you couldn't actually do a rogue trader patrol detachment.
No,
you would have to do like a vanguard detachment for it to be just rogue traders. So the Voidsman at Arms, you get 2 power, you get 5 models, or for 4 power, you get 10 models. The points is 8 points per model. Master of Close Confines. When these units are within area terrain, they get a +1 to hit and melee. That really doesn't help them because they're just carrying guns, but it's something. The Voidsmen carry a las gun, a las pistol. They're just a basic human. They do have the 4+ armor save because they've got the slightly heavier armor. And they have a BS of 3+. So they're kind of veteran guardsmen. And for 2 power, that's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
1 in 5 can take a Voidsman rotor cannon, which is 24-inch, heavy 4, strength 6, AP -1, damage 1.
That'd be good against,
most
guard.
things.
Yeah, most things.
Yeah, most infantry. I mean, that strength 6 it's pretty good. And 1 in 5 can take it. So if you have a unit of 10, you can have 2 of those rotary cannons. Usually, a lot of these units, you can't take more than 1 heavy weapon in a squad, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was reminding me of it's almost the same strength characteristic as the, what's the weapon for the Thousand Suns?
Yeah.
Except the Thousand Suns have better AP, and I think better damage, but...
Yeah, better damage, but, they're Space Marines.
Yeah.
So I really like this, and you can really go into customizing crazy with these.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go
definitely.
Freaking nuts is my advice. Really go nuts. Get a Vanguard detachment for each of your rogue traders and just get a crap load of these guys.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is there's no rogue trader specific transport. You actually have to get those from another faction. So,
may I suggest what's the Death Watch flyer called?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. And, again, or one of your detachments, maybe like for the narrative I was thinking of, the mother might be in a Astra Militarum detachment, and it'll have some chimeras in it, or better yet, some vultures, because then you're talking about a fully, air-based force, Marines, colonial Marines. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they could all be in vultures, flying in and being inserted that way. That would be really cool. In matched play, you can only have 2 flyers, but don't worry about it. In Crusade, you can have yourself a nice air cavalry force.
Yeah. Well, you should. I mean,
yeah. The Voidsmen at Arms can get a Voidmaster as their leader. They get +1 attack like normal, and their leadership 7. But if you take Murad, they're gonna or if you take not Murad, if you take either Vane or Oh no, that's all of them. They all have master, or they all have captain on the deck, so they can share the Rogue Traders leadership of 9, which is nice.
Yeah, because their current leadership is like 7 for their Void Masters. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely want to pump those numbers up to make sure that they stay around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Void Master has a las pistol and an Artificer shotgun, which is an 18-inch assault 2-string 4 AP -1, which is
the next
nice.
thing's my favorite.
Oh, well, clearly, yes. Each unit of Voidsman is allowed a Canid for 5 points.
Yeah.
The Canid is a good boy. He counts as a token and is removed when used, which is very upsetting to me. You roll a dice in the engagement range during combat, and you deal 1 mortal wound on a 2 to 5 and D3 on a 6.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work against vehicles and has a -2 on the roll versus monsters. You just never use that ability. You just have a fun. You have a little friend until the end.
Yeah, they what was it? The model came with the box set.
The Doberman, yeah.
Yeah. Which I haven't painted that box set at all. Oops.
Yeah, I haven't painted it either. But yep, he's there. It's a beautiful thing. You can 3D print yourself some extra dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You can also just buy more, or you can get the there's a lot of Kickstarters for.
Oh yeah, for
28 millimeter pals. Don't worry about it. You can find some out there, I assure you. So there's only 2 units in the book for Rogue Traders. The whole point is that you attach them to other armies. Okay,
yeah.
There's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of overlapping abilities that the Rogue Trader gives the other units in the army. That's not the idea. I'm going to quickly go over some of the there's not a lot of rules.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'll just run over them real quick.
Let's quickly go over them. I'm going to read the italicized sections.
Okay, cool. Can you do in your voice?
We're going to get fancy.
Okay.
1. Master of high society. To endure the untold dangers found on the outer edges of the Imperium requires more than just superlative martial skill. It takes a mastermind of logistics and organization. Only those rogue traders who prepare for everything can expect to survive for long. A refund CP on a 5+ if the stratagem was core or Astra Cartographica, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's for each command point spent. So, like if it's a 2 CP stratagem, you roll 2 dice. I think you still only get 1 per turn, but you get 2 dice to roll, which is nice.
All the stratagems for these guys, though, for Astra Cartographica, are 1 CP.
Yes. So just the basic ones would be more than that. Yeah. But yeah, these are very not spendy, which is nice. Yeah. Number 2 is Privateer. Many rogue traders become obsessed with securing rare Archaeotech discovery relics. Some are willing to sacrifice almost anything to recover what they have become determined to acquire. I don't blame them. I don't know. I think it's a great idea. So, Privateer. I think I scrolled too much. There we go. It's a 6-inch aura that gives Voidsmen at Arms objective secured and allows them to shoot and perform actions. That is an amazing Warlord trait. So not only do they have an aura of 9 leadership, but they have an aura of we're objective secured and can perform actions while still shooting. You take that.
Yeah, that's going to be the one.
That's amazing. Also, my armies of privateers. Next is Duelist. This is my fictional character who's actually talking through me.
Uh-huh.
This is their favorite.
Oh, okay.
Duelist. Some rogue traders invest considerable time and effort into perfecting their dueling skills. Note the long U there. Not only do these come in handy on dangerous missions, but also impress fellow nobles at important functions. So a duelist, they reroll hits in combat. Don't die.
Yeah, I'm trying.
They reroll hits in combat, which is pretty great.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
Because they're only weapon skill 3 and 3. They're not Space Marines.
Yeah.
I say only. 3 is good for a human.
Yeah.
So rerolling hits in combat is cool. Unmodified wound rolls of 6 in combat deal +1 mortal wound as well.
That's pretty good.
So if you remember, even actually all of these rogue traders have a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
In combat.
If you bust
out
out the
most of them
swords.
only do 1 damage, except for Janus Drake.
Yeah.
But yeah, Murad with this, that's gonna be a few mortal wounds.
Yeah.
In addition to whatever hidden secrets they have. So I think that's pretty cool.
Just real quick, your voices reminded me of Caddyshack. Was it Ted Knight? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we're going to the deep dive of old 70s and 80s films and movies tonight.
That's totally fine.
Ice Pirates and Caddyshack. Come on, man. How else do you want to live your life?
No. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to talk about these stratagems. Again, there's so little here that we might as well burn through them and talk and just talk about them. So the first one is Violent Acquisition for 1. Mm-hmm. You can use this in shooting or combat. If the target's within range of an objective marker, on modified 6s to hit, score +1 hit. So I like this for any kind of sneaky or tricksy or I guess loot-y faction or sub-faction. I like anything that has to do with messing up people who are standing on objectives. Like, no, this is going to be my objective. I'm going to mess you up.
Yeah. Mine.
Yeah. Master of the Void for 1. Give a Warlord trait to a Rogue Trader, even if they're not the Warlord. Ooh. And you can, this is how all 3 of my Rogue Traders get a Warlord trait.
Yeah. And
this is how, this is also how, if you're playing an army that is primarily something else like Astra Militarum or Space Marines, your Rogue Trader can still get one of these great Warlord traits.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's a Crusade force, you don't care about that because you're taking it as a requisition instead.
That's true. Yeah.
Close Quarters Barrage for 1. Voidsman weapons become pistols for a phase. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
The Heavy 6 rotary cannon becomes Pistol 6. The only thing that gets messed up are the las guns because they don't get the double shots, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So if that. Okay. I was just thinking about that heavy rotary pistol, rotor, whatever, then becomes a pistol, which means you can fire it in the shooting phase when you're engaged. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty cool. Right. 1 CP. Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Concussion Grenades. So this is the one that Vane has.
Okay.
Select a non-vehicle, non-monster unit within 6 inches, and on a 2+, they suffer a -1 to hit. So it's kind of a shock grenade, which is pretty cool.
That is interesting. There's something kind of similar in the Inquisition stratagems as well. Mm-hmm. It's interesting how, and sorry, listeners, I mean, we're talking about this after we've already read notes and all that. But there's some stuff that's very similar between the two, but they're not overlapping. They're just similar. So you could run a Rogue Trader and an Inquisitor in the same area and be able to do some pretty fun synergy things, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think maybe. Well, we'll talk about how to run these in a little bit. There's also a Teleporterium Chamber. It's a little different from the other Deep Strike stuff. First of all, it's only 1 CP because these units are very cheap. You Deep Strike 1 Rogue Trader and 1 unit of Voidsmen together. You set them up in Deep Strike together. And it can be the bigger your army, the more times you're allowed to take this stratagem.
Okay.
That solves kind of the problem that there are no transports for them to take.
Right.
So they just teleport in instead. Then Archaeotech Grenades. This is what the Blackstone Fortress characters have. Select a unit within 6 inches and roll a dice. -2 for characters. On a roll of 2 to 5, it deals D3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, it deals D6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, not bad. So on a 4+, you on a 4+, you do mortal wounds to a character. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier today. There used to be like Archaeotech pistols and whatnot the Inquisitors used to be able to take, and they've pulled that. But it's good to see that they're actually using Archaeotech somewhere else within the rules. So,
yeah. So now we're getting into the actual Crusade rules. So this is on your hymnals. It like skips a little bit because you have to hunt through all these other Crusade armies to get to it.
Oh, yeah, you got the Blood Axes.
You got the Blood Axes.
Oh, and then you got my Speed Freaks.
Yeah, the Speed Freaks. That one's really good.
My Speed Freaks. Sorry.
So on page 89 of your hymnals is where you get the Astra Cartographica agendas. Acquisition at any cost. Rogue traders are experts at identifying chances to acquire rare goods, unable to resist the opportunity lest it not arise again during their lifetime. They don't want to miss out. So you keep an acquisition tally, and then you perform the call extraction drone action that starts at the end of your movement phase, and any Astra Cartographica unit can perform it within range of an objective marker. So you basically pee on an objective marker and make it yours. And you get +1 XP per each tally mark.
Yeah.
Then aggressive negotiation. Sometimes, read usually, valuable goods cannot be traded and the only way to acquire them is by force. And I would say that's the most fun way. So you keep a valuables tally. It's called aggressive negotiation. You keep a valuables tally and you increase the tally when an Astra Cartographica unit destroys an enemy unit within 6 inches. That has a relic or a Crusade relic. You basically steal their stuff.
Hey, man, that's the way it works.
Right? You gain 2 XP for each tally mark, and if the tally marks of the entire army are 4 or more, you can use the Master Negotiation requisition for 0 RP instead of 1 RP, and we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah. Cool.
They have a...
That Rogue Trader picture on that page is really quite nice.
Yeah, that's Lucia Vane.
Yeah.
And the one in the previous page is Murad, I believe, with her giant pistols and servo skull.
And that really cool helmet face thing.
Helmet feather face?
Yeah, because you can't really see the eyes. And so it's very much, you don't have to go through and worry about having the, offset eyes when you're painting. So
it's very helpful.
I did a lot of gold on there to really, contrast from. I used a lot of washes and whatnot. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Go on. Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's a great picture. So a character in an army with a rogue trader can have an Archaeotech curiosity with 1 or more abilities. So this isn't just the rogue trader. This is a character in an army that has a rogue trader in it.
So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. When you generate an Archaeotech curiosity, you roll 1, 2, 3, or 4 dice.
Yeah.
And each of those dice needs to be rolled on a separate table. This means that for each dice you roll, you get a separate ability.
Yeah.
It's very important that you name your curiosity.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't mess around, Jason.
Oh, well. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So the requisitions can be taken if you have a rogue trader in your Crusade force, but they benefit non-rogue traders. Mm-hmm. So in that way, the rogue trader does become a little bit of a force multiplier. So dealer in exquisite goods is 2 RP. You swap out a relic or a Crusade relic on any unit in your army. If it's a Crusade relic, you can instead replace it with one of the Archaeotech curiosities.
Okay.
You roll, if it was an artificial relic, you roll 2d6. If it was a antiquity relic, you roll 3d6. And if it was a legendary relic, you roll 4d6.
Oh, okay.
So it'll have 4 different abilities. Yeah.
Okay.
Master Negotiation is 1 or 2 RP. You generate an Archaeotech curiosity for a rogue trader in your army. Roll up to 2 dice on the table if it's for each RP spent. So we are going to roll up a curiosity. So we're going to pretend that let's say, let's do it for my elderly rogue trader. Okay. So we'll start with the weapon augmentation of my curiosity, which is a 3. It's a structural analyzer. Not only is it a structural analyzer, but it's spelled with an S instead of a Z, which is fine. It's not fine. Each time this model makes a melee attack against a vehicle unit, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds. So that's pretty cool. The physical augmentation is also 3. Warp Shroud. A Warp Shroud, unless this model is the closest eligible target, enemy models cannot select it as the target of the psychic power, of psychic powers. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I can analyze structure and I can shroud myself from the warp. I'm feeling like this is a Necron curiosity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think this might be the head of a Necron overlord.
Can you make it to a staff?
Or Cryptech. Yes.
Ooh. Or the handle for the sword, for the cane.
Yes. So the physical augmentation.
Okay.
I wrote psychic, it's physical, because I'm stupid. I rolled a 5 this time. It is a Fury Amplifier. Ooh, it might be the head of a Destroyer Lord. Add 1 to this model's attack characteristics. Wow. On a rogue trader, that's a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
If I'm using the Lucia Vane model, she's up to 8 attacks. All right, the action augmentation is 2. Stability Actuator. This model is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it falls back. I think except for that last one.
Yeah.
I love the idea of this being a Destroyer Lord head. So this is Lord Lord, let me help me with a Lord. So it's a Warp Shroud and just Lord Duncan, rest in power. Lord Duncan's severed head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Duncan caught the COVID. We want to say Best of luck to you, buddy. He's not listening to this. It's fine. Get well soon. Yeah, this is his Necron Lord's severed head. I love it. Jason, cool. What did you roll up?
So I was rolling as you were talking about that. So
Smart.
Weapon, I rolled 4 projectile accelerator.
Ooh.
So add 6 to the range characteristic of ranged weapons this model is equipped with. Okay.
12-inch pistols?
Let's see what happens.
Or does that make them
Psychic.
18-inch pistols for most
18-inch, yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
Unless it's an Inferno pistol.
Yeah,
it'd be 14.
That'll make a lot of these 18 inches, which is really awesome.
All right, so Psychic, where was it? Warp Absorber. While an enemy Psycher unit is within 12 inches of this model, subtract 1 from Psychic tests taken for that unit. Okay, so I'm getting wolf pieces there. Or there's a couple of things. Okay, physical. I rolled a 6, so speed amplifier. Add 2 inches to this model's move characteristic. Yeah, I'm getting like big time like Wolfen vibe off of this.
A Wolfen vibe. Yeah, I'm feeling you.
Multifocal auto filter. That was number 6 for our action augmentation. Each time this model makes a ranged attack against a unit with a starting strength of 11+, you can reroll a wound roll of 1. Whoa. Okay.
It turns their strength against them?
Yeah, basically.
So I think this is like a Morkai Talus, or what's the trickster god? Morkai is the trickster god, right?
Yeah.
So like this is like a talisman of Morkai or something.
Maybe that would work. That would work. I
think we rolled up some pretty cool curiosities.
Yeah, I do. I think they would be quite good. I think mine would actually be really good against my main army.
Yeah, and think, a lot. You're not going to have a whole lot of characters with 4 abilities, right?
Yeah,
and a lot of those antiquity and legendary relics are super busted.
Yeah, that's
so
very true.
When you look at these, you're thinking, "Wow, that's powerful," but don't forget how super busted a lot of legendary relics are already, and you're basically giving yourself 4 cool abilities instead of 1 super busted ability.
Well, Deceit Field, which is part of the action augmentations, basically allows you to redeploy the model after deployment.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
So,
that's a warlord trait, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. The cool thing here is it does seem really good, but it doesn't actually give you the option to pick.
Yeah.
You have to roll these ones. This isn't a thing where it's like, oh, it's only cool. It's cool if you roll. You should roll. No, it legitimately gives you no other option but to roll.
Yeah.
So you can keep on trying for these, because that's part of the fun, is seeking out these curiosities and trying to get the thing you want, or at least something close to what you want.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So I actually failed. I was thinking about going through the core rules and looking for cool Crusade picks for Rogue Traders, but I failed to do that. But you have some cool picks.
There aren't a whole lot.
I think the Battle Scar is the important one. What Battle Scar did you pick?
I picked up Lost Leg. Because the blade limb on the that one just. I mean, if you've seen the model, it's a literal blade that comes to a point. So, let's be honest. If you're walking on, regular ground, it's going to be fine. But if you're walking through some sort of ground that has a grill, you got to be careful you don't, get caught in there. So, that's me being very, dark about things. But that's, but yeah.
So I think that the rules for the Rogue Traders are fun. Could there be more here? Sure. Yeah. It's only a few pages worth of rules, but I think it gives you enough to play with. And I really feel like if you use your imagination, you can develop a real pretty sweet empire for yourself as a rogue trader in your army. So why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about the Inquisition and how we might see those Inquisitors operate in a crusade.
Come here, boy, get the ball. Come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him his Zotobix today.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Zotobix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh, boy. I'd better feed Max his Zotobix.
Yes, you had.
Zotobix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert deserts. Zotobix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to stop me.
I was wondering myself. Okay, go for it. Blood Ravens Chapter is a Facebook group set up and run by passionate fans of the mysterious Space Marine chapter. They have weekly features, regular competitions, and an encouraging community ethos designed to let people get the most from their hobby. Search for + Blood Ravens Chapter + on Facebook using the + symbol if you're a fan or collector of these heroes of the Imperium. Knowledge is power. Guard it well.
Welcome back. So, Jason, you did some research about the Inquisition.
What a show.
This is another humongous topic.
Yeah.
If we were to do a lore episode on this, it would... I mean, we have... Here's the thing about Inquisition and Rogue Traders. It's better covered in pieces.
Yeah.
You're better off talking about it along with other stuff instead of just sitting there for 8 days yammering about the Inquisition.
Yeah, today,
that's just my opinion.
For the next 3 episodes, we'll talk about Eisenhorn. It'll be fun. It'll be good. No, we're not talking about Ravener.
No, nobody talks about Ravener.
All right, so this is from Warzone Octarius Book 1. So, like the Rogue Traders, we do have army-wide abilities. We have all sorts of fun stuff. The thing is, if you remember from your years of listening to us talk about Inquisitors or other people talking about them, or just you've been involved at any time during the last 20, 30 years of 40K.
Unless you've been under a rock.
Yeah. So we basically have our usual, we've got our Ordo Malleus, Hereticus, Xenos, then you have your Ordo Minoris stuff. So we'll go ahead and talk about the army abilities because it would actually help if I actually, went over the format of the notes. So if your army abilities, yay! You have a really interesting keyword that is available called Quarry. Yeah. Units with the following keywords gain these abilities. So if you have your Ordo Malleus, these are typically your demon hunters. When you resolve an attack by a model in this unit against Chaos or Demon unit, you can reroll the hit and you can reroll the wound roll.
Yeah. And
that's pretty nice. Yeah.
Literally the same for everything else.
Yeah, like Hereticus, it's Chaos or Psycher. Xenos, it's anything that's not Chaos, Imperium, or unaligned. What's interesting, though, is they didn't have demons as a keyword for that one.
But
so.
demons are chaos.
Oh, that's right. They do have that keyword, don't they? Mm-hmm. And the one that I find the most interesting would be Ordo Minoris, because I just don't see myself, going Witch Hunter or the other stuff. But when Ordo Minoris, when resolving an attack by a model in this unit against a character unit, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll. Which, you have a nice character headhunter unit there, I guess.
Well, a lot of the time you're going after somebody who done messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, because I think we've talked a little bit about the Ordo Minoris in the past, where you have all sorts of small Ordos that are there for very specific reasons. Like there's the I can't remember their name now.
Well, your own personal one is the Ordo Kronos, right?
Yeah, Kronos. Well, that's Kronos that's going after time travelers or anyone who's using time travel technology. But then there's Ordo Cyclopeus or Cyclopean, which is basically the anti-Magnus Ordo.
They're just their whole purpose is messing with Magnus.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
They talk. It's I think ABD created it as part of the Black Legion, books. I think that's where it's from.
That is so funny.
Yeah, like all they're doing is notating what Magnus has done and reading one of the. They have one of his. What was it? They are somehow writing all the wisdom of Magnus through a vessel. And the vessel keeps burning out like a human being, and they keep like reloading the vessel, like they keep putting in a new body for it to burn through. It's really grimdark, of course it is. So anyways, that's the first rule you have. You then have Authority of the Inquisition. Where did that go? And this was kind of cool because this is very similar to the rule that the Rogue Trader has. So infantry units with this ability can embark aboard any Imperium transport model, even if that model normally only permits models with other faction keywords to do so. One thing that's different on here than from the Rogue Trader one was all other restrictions apply. So Termies can only embark on transports that allow Termi models to do so.
Right. That's because there are no special units in the Rogue Trader.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about that.
Well, I assume that Primaris only vehicles will not allow an Inquisitor on board? Or are there any Primaris? Yeah, there are a few Primaris vehicles.
Yeah.
Only. So that would be... I guess they couldn't use those vehicles? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would probably let it go just because, honestly... Let's be honest. This is not a force breaker.
No.
If you can find a way to make the Inquisitor a force breaker, I will happily paint that army. No. No.
Don't tempt them.
Yeah, I'm not going to tempt our listeners because there's going to be one of them that goes, oh yeah? All right. Next up is Unquestionable Wisdom, which is an aura. So while a friendly Imperium unit within 6 inches of this models in that unit can use this model's leadership characteristic instead of their own. So that's pretty standard. We saw that all over the place, actually. So here's some more things. So if your army is battle-forged, then the following rules apply, which these are also very similar to the Rogue Trader stuff. So no more than one Inquisitor unit can be included in any Inquisition detachment, which is a detachment that includes only Inquisition units. So this, like the Rogue Trader, is just elites and HQs. So you'd have to have a Vanguard detachment for that. Mm-hmm. You can include one agent of the Imperium unit in each Imperium, excluding Fallen. They put Fallen in there, which was not in the other one. So Rogue Traders, you can have your Fallen Dark Angels there. All right. Anyways, in each Imperium patrol, brigade, and battalion detachment in your army, without those units taking up slots in the detachment. This inclusion does not prevent other units from their detachment abilities, like chapter tactics. So, and it does not prevent other units from your army from benefiting from abilities that require every model in your army to have that ability. Too long, didn't read. Inquisition units do not script chapter tactics. Special abilities are limited to Battleforged armies. Yes. So they're kind of like adding salt to things. Just don't add too much.
Yeah.
All right. So data sheets. So there's some things on here I noticed like later after writing these notes. And specifically about the weapon and armor availability. You can build your own Inquisitor and mostly customize it to your taste. So you have your own model that you've kit bashed. Cool. You can probably still use it. So your standard Inquisitor has a bolt pistol, chainsword, frag and crack grenades, and flak armor. All right. So armor. It's flak only. The power armor, Terminator armor Inquisitor is no longer allowed. So at one point there was an Ordo Malleus Inquisitor that was in Terminator armor, but I think he disappeared in either 7th or 8th edition. I want to say it was 8th edition where he kind of disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was in the 7th edition Agents of the Imperium book. I remember seeing him in that book at one point. I don't remember if GW ever released a Terminator Inquisitor though. I mean, I have a power armor Inquisitor, but it's a kit bash.
I think that there's a Forge World one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and I think he might have been a named one from the the one with the Tyranids, and
it wasn't Solomon
Locke.
Yeah, he was in. I think he was in flak armor though.
Oh, well, whatever the case, I think he got out. I think he could switch. I think there were two versions of him. Anyways, I think it is unfortunate, but I think also I wouldn't mind anybody
running
it for 1 or 2 more power level, like +1 power level for power armor and +2 power level for Terminator armor, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
that would be fine.
The named Inquisitors do have their respective armor or vehicle included in their stat line.
Right,
you know which guy I'm talking about.
There's more than one Terminator armor clad specific named Inquisitor, right?
I think there's just one.
The new one. There's that new one.
That one's power armor.
Oh, she's power armor?
Mm-hmm. Draxus is power armor.
No,
and
not
so
Drax.
Greyfax is power armor also.
Oh, okay. There's a Terminator armor one in the books. There was never there. I guess there's not a model for her.
Codiaz had both Terminator armor and a demon hammer. Okay. So I think that's what people were doing was they were taking Codiaz, but they weren't running him as Codiaz. They were running him as a generic Terminator.
Right. And unfortunately, it's much cooler in Crusade to use a non-named.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So anyways, the stock, we're basically talking more about the stock Inquisitor because honestly, I think almost all of us would like to have our own, special Inquisitor, just like we want our own war boss or our own sorcerer or whatever. So this this Inquisitor can have the Psycher keyword and be equipped with one weapon from the Force weapons list instead of the regulars. So they can take a Force axe, a Force stave, sword, or a demon hammer because, of course. And instead of the bolt pistol, you can be equipped with one weapon from the pistols list or one weapon from the range weapons list. So you could have a pistol, bolt pistol, inferno pistol, needle pistol, plasma pistol. At one point, there used to be an Archaeotech option, but that might have been... Man, I feel like a grognard now. I think that was 6th edition, maybe 7th edition. It was definitely in the 6th edition. No one expects the Inquisition release that they dropped on everyone that year. Or they have the ranged, which is a bolt gun, one of the combi gun weapons like Flamer Meltoplasma, or a Condemner Bolt Gun, Flamer, a Hotshot Las Gun.
Condemner Bolt Gun?
Yeah, they can take one. Incinerator, the Melta Gun, a Plasma Gun, or a Storm Bolter. So you can still pretty much equip them, pretty well. If you had Archaeotech, you just call it a needle pistol or something else. They can also be equipped with one weapon from the melee weapons list instead of a chainsword. So Power Fist or Maul or Sword or Thunder Hammer, which is in all caps, of course. So that's basically your Inquisitor. It's a human stat line, nothing too crazy. But this does go through and give you a chance to mod your guy, your Inquisitor. We also have our named Inquisitors. We have Draxus, which is the V'ger model with the dragon. There, got another. Is that an 80s or late 70s comment? Anyway, so got Draxus with her really cool dragon, her psychic dragon. We have Kodiaz, who we've had for quite a while. Inquisitor Greyfax, as well as Karamazov, which that was the vehicle joke. I think he is. Is he listed as a vehicle? Yes, keyword vehicle. He's the one that's in the Dreadnought body. And we have Inquisitor Eisenhorn, of course. We don't have anybody else but Eisenhorn, but we've got Eisenhorn. And stat lines are all pretty good. I mean, they're Inquisitors. Make your own. So, in addition to the Inquisitors, we have some of the older units that have shown up over the years in the retinues and the warbands. So we have our Jokero, because everybody wants still the same fun space orangutan unit from before. He does impart mostly buffs now. Like there was one point in one edition where Jokeros were really busted because of some typos, I guess.
Awesome guns.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a typo in the rules, and it allowed you to basically just stack all these things on each other and make them a little overpowered.
Hey, dude, the Ordo Malleus Inquisitor and Terminator armor is in Psychic Awakening Pariah.
Really?
Which I don't know how available that is in matched play, but that's where it is if you want to use it.
Okay.
Hector Rex and Solomon Locke are in the Imperial Armor Compendium.
Okay.
So they should be available for use. Just they're in that. They're in the Imperial Armor collection. And Hector Rex is the Ordo Malleus with 2+ armor.
Okay,
and Solomon Locke is power armor. Ordo Xenos, just like you said, he's the one that works with that works against the Xenos.
The Amphibian Project.
I think he died. Yeah, he died at the end of the Amphibian Project.
Okay.
So that's,
I'm hoping that I'm glad that they went through and gave all these rules for these very, important units in the game, or at least in the lore. I would just like, I'd like a little more, please.
Yeah. People love Inquisitors and people love Rogue Traders, but they really love Inquisitors. So
yeah,
it would be cool to get a little bit more fleshed out for them.
Yeah, especially if Inquisitor did have a tabletop game. Inquisitor is still played by a lot of people. Including, people we've interviewed. Mike Brooks is one of them. So, yeah. So the Jokero, then you have your Acolyte, which is really, it's kind of a way to, create your own gunsman, maybe even have one as a character. So unit can contain any number of models. Each model is equal to 1 power level. Maybe I just didn't see this in here, but it doesn't seem like there's an upper limit on the model count. So you could have, I don't know. I mean, unless I'm not reading this correctly, which is completely possible, you could have an unlimited number of. Hold on, let me look here. Does it have a unit size? 1 to 6 models. Okay, that was not in there before. So you can have 1 to 6 models in there. But if you have only one model, then that model gains the character keyword. Which, if you're running, some of those other fun things from, other war bands, you could go through and have maybe 3 of these acolytes that are each their own unit, and each one's a character if you wanted.
Yeah, and that's totally doable and expected in narrative play. Yeah. There's no rule of 3 in narrative play for this kind of fun reason.
Yeah, like I've got what did I set it up as? I have one acolyte from my retinue that would be, a character, of course, because from elsewhere, although the guns aren't exactly the same, but I could figure it out. And then I have Gore Halfhorn, who's one of my acolytes, because I'd kind of like to have a better rule set for him, because I would think he would be more than 1 power level, but oh well. Let's see, Loyal Servant. Okay, that's one of their rules that the acolytes have. So when a friend, it's basically the old Lookout Sir rule. But they can intercept attacks on the Inquisitor model within 3 inches on a 2-up. But only one attempt can be made to intercept each attack.
So if that works, even if you're being targeted by a sniper.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, that's really narrative, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, like I said, there's not a whole lot of data sheets in here. I mean, there's more here than there were for the Rogue Traders. Mm-hmm. But we have a Demon Host, which is Demon Host goes back. Like I have metal Demon Hosts from an Inquisition box I got whenever I first moved to New York. And you guys said, wow, that box has been there forever. Yeah, so there's Demon Host, also an elite. It's got a really cool ability called Demonic Power. So roll 1d6 at the start of your movement phase for each model with this ability. So you can have either Demonic Speed, which adds, until the start of your next turn, this model has a move characteristic of 12 inches and can fly.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. The next one's really nice. Reknit Host Form. Model regains all lost wounds, which I've actually read that in one of the Eisenhorn books, I think. And then the next one's really fun. Energy Torrent. So roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this model. On a 2-up, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Wow, Demon Host doesn't suck.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe Gore Halfhorn is a Demon Host.
Yeah, but he's got this cool shotgun. He's got more guns on him than anything else.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, he looks
and the Demon Host only has an unholy gaze.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all right, that works. So let's see what's up. Next up, stratagems. So see page 83 of your hymnal if you have it.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of stratagems. I mean, it's very much like this is very close to what the Rogue Trader rules were like.
Okay.
So I'm not reading these in a different voice. I apologize. I know, bad Jason, but yeah.
How dare you?
I? So the first one up is to exclusion of all else. When an Inquisitor sights their quarry, they command all nearby allies to concentrate upon them. So this is shooting phase. Strategy, targeted Imperium units reroll hits of 1.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. They keep talking about Imperium infantry or Imperium bikers for some reason.
Yeah, so, that's because you can apply it to any Imperium unit instead of just Inquisitorial units, which is pretty huge. That's pretty huge, dude.
Yeah. This is like, this is basically Overwatch, or any shooting phase, to be honest.
Shooting phase.
Yeah. You can also wait. Hold on. Anyway, I think it actually does include Overwatch as well. Like you could have that, although you'd probably go through and ask for it before then. Well, of course you would. You'd have to go through and do it in the command phase. The next one is Execution Bombardment. So this one shows up, in the Thousand Suns as a coruscating beam or something like that. Basically, it's an orbital bombardment.
But can you target your own units? That's what I want to know.
Okay, hold on. I didn't even think about that, and Phil's going to be very unhappy if they can't. Once an Inquisitor has passed judgment upon their quarry, there's no limit to the magnitude of weaponry they can bring to bear against them. So, use a stratagem in your shooting phase of an Inquisitor model from your armies on the battlefield. Select 1 point on the battlefield and roll 1d6 for each unit within 2d6 of that point. Yeah, you can go through and target your own. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does it say? It says all units?
Yeah. Roll 1d6 for each unit within 2d6 of that point.
Hell yeah.
Subtracting 1 from the result of the unit being rolled is a character. On a 4-up, the unit being rolled for suffers D3 mortal wounds. You can only use the stratagem once per battle. It's 4 CP, but if you
Phil
target
would say
your
it's
own,
worth it to kill his own men.
Honestly, if you're targeting your own men, I would probably just move it to 1 CP. Just for laughs. Yeah. I also don't believe that we should, have to pay 1 CP when you reroll explosions on vehicles if you want it to explode. I think that's
fair.
All right. Arbiter of the Emperor's Will. Such is the power conveyed by the Inquisitorial mandate that every agent in the Ordos acts with the implicit authority of the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's that one? Gives a Warlord trait to non-Warlord and also a relic as long as the character isn't named or vehicle.
Well, that's pretty great.
That is pretty good, yeah. Alpha Class Psycher. I kind of like this one. While many Inquisitors possess psychic abilities, some are so ferociously powerful that they are considered abominations by their more Puritan peers. I like that.
Wow.
So basically an additional psychic power for a non-named Psychic Inquisitor.
Nice.
They can also attempt to deny 1 additional psychic power.
Oh.
But they don't actually are able to they know the power, they aren't able to cast an extra one. So it's not too strong. Strategic Excruciation.
Ooh.
There is a horrible art to the battlefield interrogation of captured foes. It must be done swiftly and with the greatest efficiency or efficacy. For prying loose the enemy's secrets by any means is often the key to victory.
Jeez.
All right, so this seems to be a new stratagem, or at least I didn't see it anywhere else. Use in any phase after an enemy character unit is destroyed within 3 inches of any Inquisition units from your army. You gain D3 command points and subtract 1 from leadership characteristic of enemy units, all enemy units until the end of the battle. You can only use it once per battle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one's actually very cool and very fluffy for the Inquisition.
Yeah, that is an inspired stratagem, my friend.
Clandestine Operation. Often an Inquisitor will work undercover, only revealing themselves when the moment is right. Essentially deep strike for the Inquisitor and his retinue.
Yeah, same deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you see that all over the place. I mean, Thousand Suns have it, a few other places do. So, we talked a little bit about, most people have at least a passing knowledge of the Inquisition. And about the Ordo Malleus and Xenos and Hereticus. There's also the Radicals and the Puritans. Puritans being the ones that were actually not going to use the forces that they're fighting against, I guess. So, for instance, if you are a Xenos Inquisitor that's a Radical, you'll probably be using Xenos technology.
Yeah.
If you're a Ordo Malleus, Demon Hunter, you might have a Demon Host if you're a
one
Radical.
or 2 Demon Hosts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Puritans are going to go after them. That's kind of the fun thing with the Inquisition, is that you get to kind of almost role play that sometimes.
Right. Like a good way to always have a good reason to fight against another Imperium army is to just spend a few power level on having an Inquisitor in your army.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? Just be like, bring the Inquisitor every time you fight another Imperium. You're like, you guys are under investigation. You need to submit to our investigation. And when they say no, then you just kill them. Yeah.
Well, because you denied it, therefore you are guilty.
Therefore you supplied it. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at these Warlord traits. Radical. Once per battle round, you can reroll one hit, one wound, damage roll, saving throw, psychic test, or deny the witch test for this Warlord. It's or, so you can only, it's basically you're getting that one CP for free.
You get a free reroll.
Yeah.
Every turn.
Like what I write underneath there, this looks strong until you reach the or. Puritan, +1 invul to a max of 3 3++.
Ooh.
That's not too bad. We then have Formidable Resolve, which is not Radical or Puritan, and it's leadership. You add one, +1 leadership, and range of the Unquestionable Wisdom is increased by 6. Nice. So that's what, 12 inches?
12
that's
inches,
a nice aura right there. So not only do we have a Radical and Puritan Warlord trait, we also have one for Hereticus, Xenos, and Malleus.
Okay.
So Hereticus, no escape. So you have, hold on, the italic text here is none can slip their grasp. Yeah, I'm not going to do everything in that voice. That'll kill me.
Your Inquisitor smokes too much. He's going to die of glow stick addiction.
Boost heroic intervention. So when an enemy unit with an engagement range chooses to fall back, you can roll a d6 unless any models have a minimal move characteristic. On a 4-up, that unit cannot fall back.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're also, they have a boost to heroic intervention that basically they can perform it if they're within 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of any enemy unit instead of 3 inches and 5. So you get a little bit of boost. Great. Yeah. Each time this Warlord makes a heroic intervention, it can move up to 6 inches. All the rules still apply.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And then Ordo Xenos, Esoteric Lore. Their travels have prepared them for anything. While the Warlord is on the battlefield, roll 1d6 each time your opponent uses a stratagem. On a 5-up, you gain a command point.
All right.
Which we've seen that in a couple of other areas as traits.
That's a common one.
Yeah. Ordo Malleus, Psychic Mastery. So 1 additional power, psychic power from Telethesia Discipline, which we'll talk about that in a second. You can attempt to manifest 1 additional power in your psychic phase and deny 1 additional power in your opponent's psychic phase. Well, so you amazing. Could actually create an Inquisitor that has a lot of... It's actually a big Psycher. Have them with that psychic mastery and maybe make them an alpha class Psycher as well. And you could probably take all of Telethesia very quickly, or at least most of it. And so let's talk about Telethesia Discipline. Let's see, is there any splash text? No. Cool. All right, so our first up is Terrify, which Terrify has been around as a psychic power since 7th edition, I guess. Warp value 6, subtract 1 from leadership characteristics of models in the unit. Unit cannot cast or cannot perform Overwatch.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. Psychic Fortitude, warp charge of 4, which a warp charge of 4 is nothing. I mean,
yeah,
that's, if you get less than a 4, you've got to talk to your dice. Cast on a friendly unit within 12 inches, the unit automatically passes morale into the next psychic phase, which that could be really cool.
Yeah.
The one I found most interesting was Dominate. Warp Charge 6. Select one enemy model within 12 inches of the Psycher that is not a vehicle and roll 3d6. If total is greater or equal to the value of the enemy model's leadership, that model can immediately shoot with one weapon as if it were your shooting phase. There was a similar rule in the 8th edition Thousand Suns Codex, but I think it was 2d6, not 3d6.
Okay.
But it's a great way to, as long as it's not like a vehicle, I think, it's a cool way to go through and create kind of an assassin.
That is so fun. I love that.
I pulled this rule this one similar for the Thousand Suns a few times whenever I was playing against Da, and when it went off, it was hilarious. Or at least I thought it was hilarious, but I haven't.
There are some Tau battle suits that would not appreciate that power being cast on them.
Mm-hmm. Were they vehicles?
No.
Oh.
They're battle suits, not vehicles.
I could.
Yeah, they would not appreciate that.
Let's see. Within 12 inches, so all I had to do is kind of do a deep strike in and find your favorite battle suit and start shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Mental interrogation. Where's that? Oh, here's number 4. Warp Charge is 6. Select one enemy character model within 12 inches that is visible to the Psycher. That enemy unit is now -1 to hit. So
nice.
And if your army is Battleforged, roll 3d6. The results equal or greater than the enemy model's leadership. You gain 1 command point. So a good way to try and get some of those numbers back.
You stole something from their mind. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So the rest of them,
so what's all this stuff?
Oh, I quit. I was tired of trying to go through and
there's a specific one for each Hereticus, Xenos, and Malleus.
Yeah. So
that's
like
cool.
What was Psychic Pursuit? Blessing. Blah 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 blah.
We don't really have to go through every single one. If you want the gist of it, but like, what's the gist of it?
Basically on that one, they get to ignore Lookout, Sir.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So if you cast on enemy characters, as long as they have wounds of less than 9, castigation is basically a Witchfire. You're rolling leadership characteristic versus your 3d6.
Okay. You're just executing someone with a psychic power.
Pretty much.
That makes sense.
Ordo Hereticus has Scourging. Hey, this has splash text. Ooh. I'll do it. The Psycher fashions a lash from their foe's own guilt and uses it to flay their writhing minds.
So mortal wounds.
Yeah, more wounds. No. This one is you basically make them shoot worse. -1 to hit.
Oh.
Then Psychic Veil. The Psycher I cannot do that voice. The Psycher conjures a glamour to shield their allies. Blah blah blah. So basically, you can have one of your Ordo Xenos units be almost invisible, so they cannot be targeted unless they are the closest. Closest visible.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah. And then Warding Incantation from Malleus. The Psycher want chance protective invocation, raising a wall of adjuratory. That's a word I've never seen before.
Abjuratory, abjuration.
Yeah. Okay. Empiric wards around their allies. Blessing. Basically, you're giving a model or you're giving a unit 5-up invul save.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't too bad. That's kind of nice.
That's pretty good for some units. That'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see. Now we're going to wander over to our hymnals on page 86. We have the Relics of the Inquisition. I went through and paraphrased a lot of these because really a lot of this stuff it's the same stuff with the new name. So
yeah, we want to get to the fun stuff because we have some custom rules for you guys today.
Blade of the Ordo, better power sword, digital weapons. Black Shroud, that one's new. I haven't seen this one before. Inquisitor only. When resolving attack versus a model with this relic, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
Oh,
I kind of like that one.
That's pretty great.
Ignis Judicum, better pistol versus Chaos or Psycher, so it's D6 plus 2.
Okay.
Universal and Anathema, melee weapon, wounding on 2-up, which that's, you could say that's from the Horus Heresy. Tainted Blade, I like what I wrote here, weirder power sword. So roll D6 the first time that a bearer fights with this blade. On a 1, the bearer suffers 1 mortal wound, and this weapon cannot be used this phase. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, if the saving throw is failed, you can make 1 additional attack against the same unit using this weapon. This additional attack cannot generate extra attacks. It reminded me of the old Vorpal sword from AD&D.
Yes.
So if it's annoyed with you, it stabs you. But if it's cool, it like really wants to fight, which I found that to be kind of funny. I really liked that. All right, so let me see. Core rules, Crusade picks for Inquisitors. This book doesn't contain any Inquisitor-specific Crusade rules unless you count the Inquisitorial agenda under Requisitions. But
this is basically a copy of the Inquisition rules from Psychic Awakening, except excluding certain units that there are no models for.
Yeah. I did go through and look at some requisitions that might be good for Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the one that really there's 2 things that came out to me. There's one Crusade relic that I had never seen before. One of them's the Dark Age Displacer Belt. So instead of moving or falling back, this model can be removed from the battlefield and set up anywhere that's more than 9 inches from any enemy model, which made me think of the old Displacer Beast from AD&D also.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's like a Displacer Beast pelt that would allow you to like, what was it? Like not be where you're supposed to be or something like that.
Yeah, and I think the old Displacer Belt rules was just an invulnerable save. So this is cool. This is way cooler. You actually re-deep strike. That's neat.
Yeah, I liked that one. I thought that was kind of fun. And for Battle Scar for this one, I said blind in one eye. Just because I thought it was, reroll hits of 6 when resolving attacks by character models in this unit.
The Inquisitor's eye got poked out.
Yeah.
They don't have one eye.
Or maybe he's in between eye augmetics.
Yeah. Yeah, or you use that if there's some kind of weird EMP.
Oh!
And their augmetic gets deactivated.
Yeah, that could work. That could be cool. Yeah. All right. So next up, Adam has created this. Do you want to do this now or do you want to do this in another segment?
Let's do it now.
All right.
We can rip through this.
So Adam put together this really cool Inquisition on Crusade. He went through and added some more stuff, like some updates, not updates, but something that would like make a Lord. We'll talk about this more, but requisitions, agendas, and some other things that he feels that stuff is missing. And so, thank you, Adam, for doing this. It gives us a chance to put some stuff on TC Repo. All right.
Yeah, it's been a bit since we've done any custom content. So
yeah, do you like how I worked in that segue to hey, there's one of our ad people. Okay.
So let me try and do that voice that you did.
Oh,
so
Lord.
a new special rule called Lord Inquisitor. Some Inquisitors are a cat above the rest and follow dark paths that only the most competent, willful, or mad individuals dare to explore.
My throat hurts. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So if your order of battle contains at least 2 Inquisition units, then one Inquisitor in your order of battle can gain the Lord Inquisitor keyword. Unique units cannot be selected as the Lord Inquisitor because they're probably already Lord Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
And it provides certain abilities. So I didn't do like an army-wide rule like the big factions did. This is more akin to the way the Rogue Traders are. Okay. So Collector, this unit's Crusade relics do not count towards their maximum number of battle honors. So normally you can only have 6 battle honors. But the Lord Inquisitor can have as many Crusade relics as he wants or she wants.
Yeah, that's Honestly, that's a lot more fluffy, more flavorful.
Yeah, Inquisitor's probably lousy with relics sometimes.
Yeah.
At least the more experienced ones. Trusted advisors at the start of the battle. This unit may bestow ownership of one Crusade relic that's on their Crusade card to another eligible unit which is participating in this battle. That relic is returned to this unit at the end of the battle. So you can have as many Crusade relics as you want, and before the battle you can let someone borrow one.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that
you see that in stories all the time.
Yeah, and that's in the Death Watch series, I think, from Steve
Probably
Parker.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Mandatory sacrifice for the purposes of this unit receiving the benefit. For that trusted advisors, it might be prudent to say, a unit that's not a unit that's at least blooded.
Oh yeah,
someone who's got some experience.
Yeah, you don't have a total noob.
Yeah, no, of at least blooded rank. Yeah, I like that. I think that's way better.
Yeah. This is how we work here at Masters of the Forge, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Do it live. Yeah, absolutely. Mandatory sacrifice. For the purposes of this unit receiving the benefit of Lookout Sir, all other models in your army count as 3 models. So even if there's one guardsman standing there, you have to blow his brains out before. But it also means other characters also count for Lookout Sir. So if you just have one character standing in front of you, that character can Lookout Sir for the Lord Inquisitor.
Okay.
Collected secrets. This unit is not awarded experience points for dealers in death. So normally you get 1 experience point for every 3 units you kill.
Right.
You don't get that. Instead, because you don't care, killing people has no bearing on your, sure, you kill people.
Yeah.
It's not your purpose. You're not an army commander. You're not a soldier. You don't care about killing people. So instead, keep a collected secrets tally for this unit. Whenever this unit performs an action within range of an objective marker, increase their collected secrets tally by 1. In addition, if this unit is within range of an objective marker at the end of the battle, increase their collected secrets tally by 2.
Nice.
So if they perform an action on an objective, near an objective, they get +1.
Yeah.
If they are just standing next to an objective at the end of the game, they get 2.
Oh, that's interesting. That could really, okay.
So they get 1 XP for every 3rd point in their collected secrets tally, just like if they were killing things.
I like that. I actually like that quite a bit.
Thanks. Quarry investigation. Keep a quarry investigation tally for this unit. Every time this unit participates in a battle where the enemy army contains units with the keyword corresponding to their quarry, increase their quarry investigation tally by 1. So then they can use that investigation with the expose weakness action. So they can begin this action at the end of their movement phase, reduce their investigation tally by 1, and then they select 1 unit with the corresponding keyword to their quarry, and then while it's being performed, that unit does not gain the benefit of an invulnerable save, abilities which ignore wounds, and they suffer a -2 on Deny the Witch and Psychic tests.
Nice.
And it automatically ends at the start of the next command phase.
This is a good way to find, heresy in your opponent's army. All right.
Yeah.
I'm liking that.
So then we have one requisition.
I love this requisition.
This requisition is called "You've Seen Too Much." Do you want to read the flavor text?
Hold on, give me 1 second to get some water.
Need to take a drag off your low stick.
Hold on, I'm just going to inhale the cigar directly into my lungs. Oftentimes, the truths about the universe are entirely too much for the human mind to handle. In these situations, The unfortunate but pragmatic course of action must be to eliminate those who might be untrustworthy with the things they have learned in the service of the Inquisitor.
It's true.
Yeah.
So you'll use this requisition at the end of the battle. After the update order of battle step, select a unit that participated in the last battle and remove it from your order of battle, taking note of the removed unit's XP total.
Yeah.
You blow their brains out. Or space them. Or
space
whatever. Increase your Lord Inquisitor's collected secrets total by 1 because they've protected the secrets that the person has seen, or they actually questioned them before they were eliminated.
Yeah.
Next, select a new unit for your order of battle to replace the removed unit. Must share all of the following applicable keywords. So if it's an infantry, you have to replace it with an infantry. If it's a vehicle, you have to replace it with a vehicle. If it's a character, you have to replace it with a character. The new unit may be a higher power level than the one it is replacing, but adding the new unit may not exceed your order of battle supply limit.
I think Phil would be very happy with this.
Oh, yeah. Roll a number of dice equal to the removed unit's XP total, adding 1 to the roll for units with the troops battlefield roll, and subtracting 1 from the roll for units of 10 power level or greater. For each result of a 3+, the new unit begins service to the Inquisitor with 1 XP.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you don't automatically get all the XP that you lost, but
you do get some back.
You might get some of it. Yeah. So agendas. The first one is plausible deniability. Agents of the Inquisition aren't always ignorant of the dangers involved with working alongside such powerful people, and many of them are aware that these dangers aren't always external. So you keep a plausible deniability tally for each unit in your army. Whenever an Inquisitor unit in your army performs an action, if any units in your army are more than 12 inches away from the Inquisitor and cannot draw a line of sight to that Inquisitor, increase their plausible deniability tally by 1. Whenever an Inquisitor unit from your army performs an action, if any units are within 12 inches of that Inquisitor and can draw a line of sight to them, then reduce their plausible deniability tally by 1. So if they see what the Inquisitor is doing, they lose some of that plausible deniability. If they have positioned themselves so that they aren't paying attention to what the Inquisitor is doing, it increases their plausible deniability by 1. So units with a positive plausible deniability tally at the end of the game cannot be selected for the You've Seen Too Much requisition, and they gain 1 XP per mark on the tally.
Yeah.
Units with a negative plausible deniability tally can be selected for the You've Seen Too Much requisition for 0 RP immediately following the update order of battle step for this game.
Yeah. That works. That's funny.
The next one is, that's not why we're here. So oftentimes, an Inquisitor who participates in a joint operation does so for their own motives, and their participation hinges on a totally different objective. It basically just lets you swap out whatever victory bonus there was for that mission for a Crusade relic or a weapon enhancement instead.
Okay. Yeah.
This task is beyond you. Units from your army which survive the battle earn 1 XP for each of the following conditions. They are more than 9 inches from any Inquisitor models at the end of the game, or they cannot draw a line of sight to the Inquisitor model at the end of the game. And units that left the battlefield or were not destroyed thanks to the mission special rule, they count. That counts for both of those. So that if they left, then they definitely didn't see the Inquisitor or get in the way when the Inquisitor was trying to do their thing. A unit that claims XP from this agenda is not eligible to be selected for You've Seen Too Much requisition immediately following the battle, because they did what they were told and got away from the situation before it got dire.
Yeah. They didn't see the things they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, that's exactly. Exactly.
These are fun, man. I think these are fun rules.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I think it was great. I think possibly I should, for You've Seen Too Much, I should say that Grey Knights are ineligible for that requisition. Or does it make it funnier if they are?
I think it'd be funnier if they were.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are just a few fun special rules that you can use in your Crusade games.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a quick break and we'll talk about what kind of game we're going to play when we get together next episode.
Hello, everyone. The Masters of the Forge is now a proud member of the NPC, the Narrative Podcast Consortium. Our aim is to inspire your hobby through the rich lore of the 41st millennium. If you enjoy our podcast, then make sure to check out these other awesome shows where you can get coverage on campaigns, Black Library, and all kinds of general topics of the 40K background.
The NGC 40K podcast also provides in-depth campaign coverage, audio dramas, and free-flowing narrative campaign creation.
The Adeptus Terra podcast also features in-depth discussions of the lore and commentary on the hobby.
Oh, and sexy English voices.
Oh, yeah.
The Masters of the Forge brings the world of 40K to life on your tabletop, with discussion on the lore, backed up by narrative-themed rules and battle reports.
Of course, this is only a fraction of the topics covered by the podcasts of the NPC. Please tune in to find out more.
Hey Archons, does 9th edition have you feeling like the Slith Party Bus just doesn't have enough party for you? Well, if you want to put a little shock back into your shock brow, you need the Slith Party On! That's right, Archons. For 736 points, you can take 3 Archons, 12 Slith, and a Tantalus. It's the Slith Party On! Now I know what you're thinking. Couldn't I take Drazar, 15 Incubi, and a Tantalus, aka the Incubi Murder Boat, for 51 less points? Sure you could, but it wouldn't be the Slith Party On! But is it legal? Oh yeah! Is it awesome? Oh yeah! Is it any good on the table? No! It's the all-new Slith Party On. Sort of awesome. Party On! Really hilarious. Party On! It's the Slith Party On!
Oh, we've reached level 6.
Well, that was fun. I think, it would be nice if there were a few more, rules for Inquisitors and Rogue Traders. Looks like, with the release of these rules and the expansions, I don't think we're going to get much more going forward until 10th edition. So we'll just have to use our imaginations and have fun with what we have.
Yeah. Well, they might go through and add more stuff later.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, good.
Kind of like some of the other factions have really weird army-wide resources that they can spend. I think both the Rogue Trader and the Inquisition could benefit from something like that, as the Rogue Trader expands their empire and as the Inquisitor expands their information network. I think those two, the trade empire of the Rogue Trader, could look a lot like something the Tau look like they're getting. The GW kind of GW did tease the way the Tau are going to work, and they're kind of gaining these planets as they go through their Crusade campaign.
Yeah.
And I think an information network sounds like the way to go for a theme on the Inquisition's interesting army-wide Crusade rules.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would manifest rules-wise, but I think it would be cool. Now, for the January Crusade game, my orcs have already played a lot of games and they've gotten a lot of experience. So I was wondering if you should still play. You might want to. I was wondering if you still wanted to play your Thousand Suns.
Yes.
And keep working on those.
Yeah.
I've been kind of chomping at the bit to try out the Rogue Traders, but at the same time, I think it would make way more sense for me to play as the Inquisition here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Inquisition come in as the Ordo Cyclopeia or whatever it's thing that you're looking for.
Yeah, try out that Ordo Cyclopia or Ordo Hereticus or something. Well, I guess I would just use, some of the Ordo Hereticus stuff. I'm not sure. I could look through the rules a little bit more and come up with a cool force for you to fight against.
Okay, yeah. Works for me. I think that would be fun.
Perhaps the Inquisition came expecting to find, maybe they were working. Maybe I'll take an Ordo Xenos and an Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor because they were expecting to find psychic orcs, but all of a sudden, wait,
those guys aren't green.
Thousand Suns are here. Oh no! So that might be fun, or I might play them as separate forces because they're opposed to each other. They're both trying to come after you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
Something like that. Yeah. I'll come up with a cool narrative for it. But either way, that sounds like it should be a fun game.
Yeah, that will be. I think that'll be a great way to expand the lore for my Thousand Suns, and it could give you a chance to really start working on your Inquisitor.
Yeah, it'll make me want to put my Inquisitors together and start painting them, which I do. I do still have several of those. So
I was thinking about this. At some point, we would need to go through and do a Crusade game where you can finally do your. Is it the Aurora chapter that you've been wanting to do? The mechanized for, let me see, how long have I known you? 7.5 years. Okay, so I know you've been wanting to do Aurora chapter for at least 7.5 years. So this could be that chance to do that. Yeah.
How dare you? So that sounds like a lot of fun. I think we can pull something together.
Yeah.
And but until then,
play the game the way you want to.
Ding dong.
And make sure to, sign up for Adepticon.
We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge.
And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
If you'd like to engage with us directly, you can always join our Discord server.
To do so, or if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor,
contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersoftheforge. Thanks.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com. The music used in this podcast was made by Parad of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.